Hey YouTube, it's me again. I just want to make a follow-up video here. Um, Maybe some of you saw that funny video I made. Somebody had mentioned that maybe I should get on TikTok, and I saw the funny videos they make on there, so I decided to make a funny video about fluoroquinolones. Um, so yeah, I was looking at my last video that I had just made. I think it was like episode 20, and telling my story, and I watched the video till like the end because it just reminded me of everything I've gone through. So throughout these videos, I make other videos too, reviews on some of the stuff that I enjoy, because that's what I'm going to start doing, and that's what I've always been doing. I've never really been a sad guy. I enjoy life. I'm very happy to be alive. One thing I'm very happy about is throughout all this, I never wanted to kill myself. I thought I was gonna die, but I never wanted to die. I was like, oh man, I don't want to die. Um, and yeah, I also want to maybe, I think I'm gonna try to interview another one of my Floxed friends to kind of tell her story of what she went through. And I really wish more of you would subscribe and like the channel. But because you guys are my audience, I mean, other people, I don't invite friends and stuff to subscribe or look at my channel because they don't understand what's going on. I do want random people to watch it because I want them to be aware of what's going on in the Floxed community, what Floxed means. Yesterday was a pretty bad day for me. Actually, I made that video, that funny video of the fluoroquinolone pill, but I was feeling pretty bad. I mean, lately I've been waking up with a lot of pain. My body feels like I've ran a marathon when I'm not exercising or anything. And yeah, I mean, just with a lot of pain, my legs. And when I feel very sick, my body starts to spasm. I start getting, how do you call it, muscle spasms everywhere and a lot of pain. Today I feel somewhat decent. So that's a good thing. You have your good days and your bad days. Like one of the other YouTubers I saw said, after, so many years, you got, a week and you're good, and then you have one bad day, and then you have a couple of weeks that are good, and then you have one bad day, and then you have one bad day after another after another. It's unpredictable. I mean, I think I still have so many bad days every week, at least 3 or 4 or more. But you learn to fight through it. It just becomes a part of your life. It doesn't make me different than anybody else. I just know how to deal with pain. I've always known how to deal with pain. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. One thing I tell my doctors, I'm like, well, 32 or 33, I don't remember how old I am. Anyways, I traveled most of my life. I've worked hard most of my life. I've been working since I was really young, and I was always traveling. I never went to a doctor. I was always healthy, always got physicals for work. My job required me to do some physicals and stuff like that. They said I was fine. Never went to a doctor. I'd cut myself. I'd hit myself really hard. It would, be whatever, I had a stomach ache. It was just a stomach ache. I've never really had headaches my whole life. Never. Ibuprofen and all that stuff with me was like placebos. I'm like, why do people take that? I never get headaches. But yeah, I mean, I've been healthy my whole life, never been to a doctor. Of course, since I was like a really young kid, when my mom used to take me when I get the flu or something. But yeah, never went to a doctor. I was always a tough guy, whatever. That's how us guys are. And all of a sudden, I went to a doctor because I thought, something going on, and they thought it was a UTI. Doctor I went to probably wasn't that bright. And yeah, she's like, well, actually, she wasn't too, she was pretty smart because she said, let's give him a UTI test, and then we'll see what happens on Wednesday. And, I don't blame that doctor. because I called a couple of days later on a Sunday. As I had mentioned in my previous video, I worked on that Sunday. I called the the, the doctor's office, or the company, or whatever it's called. It's a big chain, and they have on-call doctors and nurses. And I'm like, hey, I'm still feeling this way, but they did the testing. Should I drink any cranberry juice or anything? And she's like, let me get the doctor. Let me find out. And she called back, which was surprising and relieving. She's like, oh, okay. I spoke to a doctor. We're gonna give you some medication. You're gonna take an antibiotic and some ibuprofen. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of whatever's bothering me, and I'm good. I don't gotta worry about going to a doctor again or whatever. Waste time. And little did I know that was gonna be a big life changer. Which is also another thing I want to talk about. I mean, you know how messed up it is. I tried to, sue the doctor or firm, because I'm like, dude, this thing costed me thousands and thousands of dollars. I'll never be the same. And I couldn't get anywhere. Lawyers would call me, oh, okay, well, that's good. Have you had, what is that thing when your artery rips or whatever? Man, I don't even want to think about it, but what is it called? Aneurysm. And they're like, oh, okay, well, have you had any aneurysms? Like severe stuff, like brain hemorrhages and stuff. And I'm like, no. I'm like, thank God I haven't. And they're like, oh, well, I'm sorry. That's too bad. I'm like, I seriously had a doctor say that was a lawyer say that was too bad. It's like, dude, how is that too bad? I'm glad I didn't. I didn't mean it didn't like ruin my life. Like, I'm freaking partially retarded now sometimes because I can't think. Well, at least at that time it was really bad. And I'm like, I get pain all the time. I, have so many different systems, and I'm, symptoms, and I'm going through, some like witchcraft stuff where I'll wake up and my legs are in so much pain. It feels like I ran marathons, or I wake up burning, like not like I'm burning, but my body feels like it was dipped in the coldest ice in the world. So yeah, and so it's pretty bad. I mean, a friend told me the other day when I talked to him, he's like, yeah, soon, hopefully, the government will do something, and you guys get some sort of a settlement, everybody that was affected. And how are people even gonna know we're affected when everybody's denying everything that we have? I would get it if one or two people made this stuff up, but you've got thousands of people. Everybody that's probably watching this video knows, what we've gone through, and nobody has believed us. I mean, how do you make this stuff up? So yeah, but yeah, I want to see if I do like an interview of another Floxy friend that has had a really tough time. He's here lately too, and she's also given me a lot of good advice, which a lot of other people have too. I want to interview everybody and talk to everybody. But yeah, if you guys can like her and subscribe, or at least watch the videos, and you don't have to. I mean, I'm doing this because it makes me feel better. Aside from that, you might also, if you subscribe to my channel, see from time to time, as I've mentioned before, I like to work on cars and do other things, and whatever little I can do, sometimes I'm going to try to do, kind of show off. I'm a big tool guy. I love tools. I love working on things. That's a big thing. So when this first happened, that was another thing. I mean, I couldn't do anything. Like, and I came to that life decision. I even told my wife, I said, I'm giving up, working on anything. We're gonna have to pay for people to do all our physical work, whether it's changing the oil or doing this. And I made myself want to do that. We're not gonna cut the grass. We're not gonna do this, everything, some people pay for everything. And I find that, it's too expensive. It's better to do it yourself because it's cheaper for you, unless you're rich. And I programmed my brain to think that way. You know, I said, hey, don't think about it. You know, we're gonna be this type of person now, and it's a good thing. And that's kind of sad, but you know, because that was like one of the biggest parts of me. You know, I'm like a gas monkey guy. You know, I love cars. I love working on things. Um, there's nothing better to me. You know, I mean, I couldn't even play games. My watching everything just move so fast would just kind of, it would kind of like freeze my mind up. It would have to reboot. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than, you know, building something, or changing some oil, or trying out a new tool. For me, it's the best thing. And now I'm slowly recuperating, still with a lot of pain, still a lot of downtime, but I'm gonna keep fighting. And I don't see it as a fight, I see it as a way of life now. Not regretting that I was Floxed anymore, because it's like it gave me life again. You know, now it's like, yeah, there's a lot of downsides to it, but now I appreciate things more. I don't know about you guys, but even when I was able to try coffee again, which I can't drink it all the time because it kind of messes me up sometimes, it was like I was very appreciative of even trying to finish a cup of coffee and being all right. And before it was like, you know, whatever, it's just another day. Now it's like I'm conquering things again, kind of like when you're young and you're starting to do things. You know, you drive to the store in the car for your first time, and you're like, oh, I'm responsible. Wow, look at what I accomplished. Well, there for a while, I couldn't even drive myself to the store, because I mean, I would get to the store and I would start feeling sick and my whole world would close. You know, it's like, I'm not gonna, you know, who do I talk to if I'm like feeling like I'm gonna pass out? Who's gonna have my back? You know, if I fall down, it's like nobody's gonna know me, where I belong. What's gonna happen? I was afraid to go everywhere, because it literally would happen. I'd start to go somewhere and I'd start to shut down. I'd start feeling sick, and not that I wasn't feeling sick at home, but feeling sick somewhere else. It's like you're an ant in a, you know, in an ant pile, and with a bunch of people you don't know unless you take someone. I literally had to have someone with me all the time. And now, I mean, I can, you know, go to the store and handle it a little bit better. This COVID-19 really kind of messed me up, because it's like, you know, my world was already pretty much closed and now it's closed more. Um, you know, because imagine if you get COVID and you're going through all this crap already. So yeah, I mean, that's why I wasn't really posting for a while. It was more like I was on the defense, trying to, you know, do things to make sure everything would be fine. But yeah, and you know, I encourage a lot of people to start making their videos, no matter who you are or what you're doing, whatever, you know, kind of show your support for what you're going through, so that other people could see that you're battling through the same thing and make them feel better. Because there's a lot of videos out there with people that are Floxed just like me, and I could have put those moments when I was crying and breaking down. Some of the videos, my earlier videos, yeah, it was pretty bad, and I would post a lot when I was feeling sick, and I could post a lot of those videos. But you know, we also want to post stuff showing people that, you know, we're getting back out there and we're getting things done again, and you know, getting the word out there of what it's like to be Floxed and what it is to be Floxed. And I think I'm gonna make a video also on, you know, how to kind of find out if you're Floxed, for those people that are newly Floxed and are, you know, wondering what the hell's wrong with them. Maybe they can kind of look at a guide, you know, kind of like, you know, finding out if you have a bad engine, finding out if you're Floxed, you know. But I'll leave that for another video. For now, I hope some of you watch it and like and subscribe it. And I will talk to you guys later.